Step on. Likee.
Hello, SBN fans. It's your boy Sam Reaper. Unknown to YouTube, but probably known to y'all. But hey, who cares at this point? Not me. But anyway, I've talked to you about a very favorite character that challenged my boy Lucy twice, then got trolled badly twice again. Ended up losing again. He said a very iconic line in the original cut that changed everything for Crowley as a character and the relatability between Lucifer and Crowley. But before that, I'm gonna cut back to something probably I should have said a long time ago involving Mark Shepard, the the actor for Crowley. I should have told this maybe a while. People probably forgot about this because it was so dreadful to see and it was eye opening for a lot of people. It was somewhat eye opening for me. Like I wasn't surprised. I was more like, oh, we still know nothing of the inside, but we do know much about the story in ways. So then, based to make things quick and short, the actor Mark Shepard was 1 year ago recorded on by a fan, seeing him getting kicked out of the SBN studio. I was like, why did that happen? And it was just off on the fact that he was giving Sam, okay, excuse me, the actor for Sam, Jared, some tips. Then kicked out. Surprisingly, it wasn't because of what happened. Obviously, I never expected him to be kicked out all because of annoying Jared. Because yeah, he was having a very bad day, or all like it looks like because around that day everyone was having a bad day, and I was like, okay, I guess I can excuse the ending. Not really, because the writers were in charge. I'm not really mad at SBN. Like I want this video as made to. It was a character to be a tribute to Crowley. It was to be Bobby. Not the best one, but who cares? I'm just gonna try my best for Crowley. Um, just like I said, I feel like I was the character Lucifer, and I feel like I understood why Crowley constantly wanted my boy Lucy dead, and why some of them felt that way, and why they wanted Crowley to win. I understand, and I understand to the point that it was the same reason why a lot of fandom began to support Lucifer when he went up against Chuck. Pure underdogs. Just like Lucifer and Crowley tried comedy relief, they were honest that hell no, we're monsters. Like even when Crowley was on the winter side, like even like you have seen my hate and my dislike for Sammy, and at times pure hate, at times admit pure hate. But the reason why I sit around for Supernatural and would rewatch the series, which I guarantee I will and would, no will, is that the villains, man, they're so honest, they're so free, they're relatable, especially Crowley. He's a snot nosed demon who gets kicked around, but he's a smart one. He's very smart compared to a lot of other characters, obviously. He's smart enough to even outwit the one test multiple times because when it's a battle of wits, Crowley always wins. I wouldn't say he's the smartest one of the series. I would say both Lucifer and Crowley when it comes to IQ. Because usually I wouldn't put Chuck out there because one thing I realized about how SBN power scaling works, it's more on how the character would use his powers, his or her, uh, along with how he or she acts or how their powers work. If they're not omnipotent, if they're omnipotent, how will they use it? Will they blow up the entire world? Will they play the long game? Will they, even though they have literally nothing compared to someone who is not important, how will they take him out with tools that will not kill him, but will slow him down, power them? Some of them, the tools make sense, others don't, because I do believe that that are still capable of teleporting angels away. Yes, I agree. But that's what archangels up to who are not an opponent. I believe that really shouldn't be possible. Like a lot of small nitpicks that I think we will all gladly make, or just me. But to make things short, Crowley, the battle of IQs they have was quite interesting. It was one of the best I've seen in the series. This is what I've seen Lucifer versus Crowley fight again and again, and why I was like it it seems more of a back and forth power, and why Lucifer more acted more of in a way superior, because he's like, I'm important, but I'll take that back, because mainly the fact he wasn't confident because he was not important. He was aware of the fact, he used that to his advantage, but he never really flaunted that compared to someone like Chuck or Michael. This is why I love Lucifer. He constantly uses his brain. This is why his IQ is one of the highest, along with Crowley. This is why, once again, it was more of a war of IQ. You would ask, why was he so smug, sitting back watching Crowley tell him this, that? Mainly because he didn't care. Mainly because he constantly had this ego of, nah, nigga, you can do whatever you want. Why he was able to take the chains off, obviously through funny manipulation, and then eventually come across Crowley and like, no, take him down. So in a power perspective and how it went, Crowley constantly lost. However, if you've seen the last cutscene, and we went to this channel, the last line before Crowley killed himself to initiate a sealing spell that would trap Lucifer into an alternate world. He said, even when I lose, I win, and he killed himself. It's a very iconic line to almost every single villain in. Well, almost. It's many of the big OGs, like someone like Crowley, Lucifer, Rowena, Ketch, even at times as Mordeus or any other villain that carried a significant role to the point that they touch us, or even at times Gabriel. Like, I have feelings for Gabriel in a way, but it's more or less, and even Amara, and yes, Daddy Chuck, in a way. But the people who really stand out in the way that even when I lose and win, that they actually carried that and lived that to the point that if you rewatch that series or just think about it, you realize it's both Lucifer and Crowley who lived that. They're both underdogs in a way. Crowley underdog to Lucifer underdog to Chuck. They didn't care who they were up against. When Lucifer went up against Michael, he lost twice. Like the hand-to-hand combat fight he had against Michael Earth 2, he knew that he knew that he was stronger than him. Not on the opponent's wise, which is weird, because if you look at the DC's Lucifer is equal. But one thing that I admire about Lucifer is that he really doesn't care. He's not dumb, but what he knows that when it's balls to the walls and it's time to go, he does it. He will fight. He still lost. End up losing because of a lot of other power scaling things that really shouldn't have happened, which means it would have been much harder for the writers, I understand, but I think that there are other ways it could have happened without retcon their universe, which has happened multiple times. So I can not that I can't watch other sides, I can just side pain. After Crowley didn't care. He constantly wanted to outsmart Lucifer. Well, not really outsmart him, mainly to trap him and mainly to use his abilities so he would be trapped. Happened many times. It was a battle of will, a battle of who can use their power better. But let me back up from there. If you see Wayward Wedge's the report he gave for how the character began to die slowly and to begin, and when Crowley started to make massive L's, take massive L's, which were his 2 wins over Lucifer, it was a very dumb loss, because eventually Lucifer was just playing him the whole time. You could argue maybe he looked into the future and saw how Crowley's plans work. Maybe he just didn't care, which is probably prominent for how Lucifer would fight throughout the entire series. But his ending, along with Crowley's ending, I felt both, but if I'm being honest, I felt similar towards Lucifer first and Crowley, mainly because I was on Lucifer's side. I was like, yeah. But at the same time, I was like, they're the same in a way. Like Crowley, underdog to Lucifer, underdog to Chuck. That fight never happened. That battle of wills never happened. And like, I feel like in the same way there was so much potential. Like, I understand COVID was like nagging, but I feel like there were other ways the series could have ended. I feel like there are other ways the power scaling could have been fixed in the end. I still think the ending in a way is his like the season finale is, I'll give it on a 7 out of 10. I still think it was great, but not amazing. There were a lot of things that were terrible. I said it in my video that made me upset. Some made me happy. That the plan was a good plan, but wasn't supposed to be carried out because of someone who was on my phone. But I back up. It's kind of how It's kind of how Lucifer versus Crowley, in a way, was supposed to be, even when they lose that win. Lucifer took some bad L's that he knew were gonna help him, that he knew that were gonna happen, but he still took them. He was like, I'm not even gonna lose. Same for Crowley. He took those big, massive, stinky L's, even though the writers were like, we didn't know what to do with Crowley, even though he's one of the smartest characters along with Lucifer. Or I'll put him second, but that'll be in the writer's perspective. But I'll put both of them as number two, mainly for the fact of how they did this whole battle, which was fire, and I loved it. In basic, if that's how I feel more mainly about Crowley, and amazing character, amazing. What can I say? Who knows? And who knows in next season in the next show for Supernatural 2 or Supernatural movie, they'll bring it back. I mean, maybe I might see the actor. Well, maybe, let's be